Water makes up 70% of the Earth's surface, yet the world is running out of fresh water. In dry seasons, the Ganges no longer reaches the sea. China has 25% of the world's population, but only 6% of its fresh water. In the U.S., the vast Ogallala Aquifer is being mined faster than nature can recharge it. If we allow it to be depleted, it will take centuries to replenish again. We are using more water than the Earth has available. A few years ago, the conservation group American Rivers named the Catawba River in North Carolina the most endangered river in the nation. It claimed that without a change in public policy, the Catawba could be depleted, affecting the drinking water of millions of people. I wanted to see it for myself. When it comes to water, we all live downstream.
Oh, little blackbird on my wireline, dark hair's trouble in this heart of mine. Oh, little blackbird sings a worried song, dark hair's trouble till the winter's come and gone. So long now I've been out in the rain and snow, but the winter's come and gone. Hey, little bird told me so.
We're coming all the way back down here tomorrow at noon.
In native culture, everything goes in a circle. There's nothing linear about anything. Even life is not linear, even though you may think it is.
They end up just changing the standard that they weren't attaining. So once they change the standard, they can be attaining it now.
And so one of the big issues that we're dealing with currently is coal ash ponds. When you generate power using coal, you end up with ash. It's typically put into wet ponds which drain into the river. And the Catawba has 4 of the ponds that the EPA has listed as high hazard ponds, and they're all happen to be on reservoirs that are used for drinking water. If you just continued current trends, we will run out of water probably in the 2030 range.
In North Carolina, the Department of Health and Human Services estimates that each year over 13,000 children are born with mercury levels that put them at risk for a lowered IQ and learning disabilities.
Typically, the most common sources are coal-based power plants. That's where you tend to see most mercury come from.
You know, it's really fun to go out there and catch a 30-pound striper bass, but you really don't want to eat that fish.
What is the synergistic effect of having a level of all of those in a fish? Even if each of those levels is within a standard, what happens when it has all of those?
Me personally, I'm a catch and release. But that's just me personally.
It turns out in South Carolina, a lot of the coal plants are, you know, a lot of the hot spots are near coal plants. Clean coal, you know, I once asked, you know, whether or not clean coal was an oxymoron.
Clean coal harnesses the awesome power of the word clean.
There might be a way to make it cleaner to certain parts of the environment, but when you're burning coal, there are parts of it that still don't burn, and it's going to end up somewhere. No one's really been paying attention to these things.
That toxic sludge has to go somewhere, and it remains toxic forever.
Yeah, basically, you know, elements, you know, these metals don't disappear when you burn them. When you burn coal, it basically unlocks a lot of these chemicals in the ash. When water hits the ash, various reactions take place, and the heavy metals flow into the groundwater or wherever.
So you could assure them that there's really nothing to worry about?
Water is the only thing keeping us here, keeping our economy going, keeping our recreation, our tourism happening, keeping jobs in our area. Because without this river, without our water, we don't have power. We don't have life, period.
And these are the oysters that when we collected these guys, they have 5,000 to 6,000 times the amount of heavy metals in them, like nickel, that you would find over at the James Island Park, which is a very similar habitat. So it's bioaccumulating right here, and it's coming off the road into here.
So what would happen to me if I had 8,000 times of nickel in my body?
That's a good question. I not being a doctor, I couldn't say exactly, but you know, that much nickel, we could almost sort of turn you into coins.
I think that people need to find out what's going on in where they live and beyond, because water issues don't just flow by you. They start upriver and they end downstream, and we need to know what's going on either end of the river and stay on top of things.